Welcome to the As If That Happened podcast, where we've just found an excuse to have a chat about our favorite TV shows and movies and entertainment. Today's episode, we're talking about one of our old favorites, our 6th episode of Ouran High School Host Club. The Ouran High Host Club is where pretty young boys with too much time on their hands entertain pretty young girls with too much time on their hands. It's straight from the show, and I think it's a perfect summary of what the show is. It's just like high school kids with just too much money, way too much time. The things they get up to, it's like,
oh my god, the things I get up to.
But before we start, I do have one question for you.
Oh my god, am I gonna be like so freaked out with our question?
No. It's a question they asked at the very beginning of the first episode. What's your type? The strong silent type?
Oh my god.
The boy Lolita? The mischievous type? The cool type? Or a guy like Tamaki?
Oh my god. Oh, why did you bring that up on me? Can you go first?
We should explain that this show, so many of the shows and movies we talk about, because we don't really watch a lot of things together because we have such different tastes. But this show we did start watching, one of the few shows that we did watch at the same time. And it's such a pinnacle point in our friendship.
Yeah, it was actually the beginning of us going like really close friends. And I guess it was one of the shows that really stuck us like really tight as well.
Because it was such a niche and bizarre show.
It was the most randomest show.
While everyone was watching Naruto at the time, we were watching
Naruto, Pokemon, freaking what else was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Here we were watching Ouran High. But to answer your main question, whatever Honey Senpai is, whatever that category was. I think it's been about like almost 13 years since we've actually watched it. Like not together, but just watching it just for like leisure purposes and everything. Because I honestly remember we gave you the silent one.
Yes, so who was it? That was Mori. He was the strong silent type.
Yeah, like we gave you Mori-san, which at the time, I was like, nearly every single one of them were taken from everyone except for Mori. So we're like, we'll just give it to you, Shy.
I think it matches well with my personality anyway.
Mori's the one with honey.
He's like he doesn't talk like ever. He just
Oh, we just gave you the silent person.
But yeah, this show just holds a lot of memories in terms of feelings for me, because when I was watching it, I didn't remember a lot of the details.
Yes, and especially during the first episode where they kept putting like a lot of like indications as to what this like item will be, like the vase at the time. And I remember when I first watched it, I'm like, what does this mean? Like, why are they putting arrows and really like emphasizing that something's gonna happen to this? And I'm like, there's got to be another reason behind it. Like they've done it a couple of times with the other episodes as well. And I just found it like a really like interesting component within within the show that made it a bit more interesting and a bit more engaging for like us as audiences to actually continue watching it, because it's like, oh, what is actually going to happen to this item, or is someone going to do something else to like the other characters and whatnot. But I love the fact that Kyo knew that she was a girl from the get-go. Like straight, like even up until now, I was like trying to figure out, how do you know that she was a girl from the beginning?
Hari, she was an honors student in this rich fancy school of Ouran High. She broke a vase and they thought that she was a guy because she had short hair and was wearing like daggy clothes because she was poor, but she was actually a girl. When they were finding out that she was a girl, so Hyo already knew that she was a girl like from the beginning. Honey found out because of the bunny.
Yes, because we're girls. Like we are attracted to cute things. And we're like, oh my god. No, you know it was what I found really funny was the bunny was blushing. Which I like, how the hell does a bunny blush? But all right, sure thing, show. You can tell me as much as you can.
I love the little light bulbs every time
Oh my
that
god,
they found
yes.
out as well. I like the animation.
I know. Oh, it's so I love that. Like the two different like well components of like being a host and really like having that cheesy moment with like your like with your little people and all that jazz. And then you have like the whole depressing fun side of like haha.
Yeah. So the first episode was just kind of finding out that she was a girl and introducing us to the host club. We've already talked about Hani Senpai, who is the cute character. Look at a little. He's older than he
Yes.
looks, and the silent type. And
Karu and Hikaru. I remember those two. Those two were the devil type, or like the evil devil trickster kind of type, which it made sense because being like knowing a few of my friends who were twins, like some of them didn't look like each other, but some of them did. And being able to do like tricks and all that because of them being twins, it actually made that kind of concept really easily. And then we've got Kyo-san, who is the oh my god, what type
he
was
was
he
the
again?
cool type.
Ah, the cool.
Yeah, but he's the money making scheme of everything. He always had a scheme to make money.
And then you had Tamaki, who was the prince type, which every girl would want to find a way to book him or like to designate him to them during the host period, which I honestly found that he was way too over for my liking.
I thought so at first. Okay, so we're only talking about the first 6 episodes. Just to clarify, if he gets worse sort of after 6 episodes, we are not gonna talk about that. But in the first, with these first few episodes, I thought he might be too much, but then I kind of just thought he was hilarious. And I realized why it was that I was thinking that is because everyone else is so unfazed. Like they're not caring that even Haruhi, who has like this massive crush on, or that he's jealous if he's not gonna be able to see her anymore, or when he found out the twins had classes with her all the time and he would never actually get the chance
Oh my god,
the percentage.
Yeah, the percentage where it's like, oh, only 5% that you hang out with her, and that's only during the host club. As in for the twins, it's like 75% because they have class and the host club.
He is this guy that everybody wants. He's the prince of the club. Probably the one with the most girls who ask for him. But he is so like the one that he wants, I guess, is so unfazed by him. Doesn't care when he's just like, no, you can't go do these things. I just thought it was so funny, him as a character, and how just nobody seemed to care. Because I'm usually a little like, they're not my favorite characters when they're a little too over possessive, or you know what I mean, like a little over the top. And
Yeah,
usually
like
they're
like
kind
Jodo.
of your favorite character, but this time we've kind of flipped. He's not my favorite character, no, but I just think he's hilarious because nobody cares. He's like having a mental breakdown that nobody loves him, and he's like, everyone's just like, yeah, alright, whatever.
No, it does remind me. I think I started to warm up to his character more when it comes to Renji. when she gets yeah, when Renji gets like introduced and everything else, because it was really showing that personality out of him.
His
And
ego took a blow in this.
yeah, his ego went skyrocketing and went like down really quickly. And it was just like, oh my god, Haruhi, did you see how great I am as a lonely prince? It was like, all right, sure there. And it was just like you knew, like from that kind of perspective, you knew that not a lot of the host clubs took him seriously, and they
No.
would do everything in their willpower to make it as like a joking life, which is brilliant. It's like that concept of like friendship, or like in a nutshell.
My favorite Tamaki moment though, was in episode 2 when Haruhi won and Kyo was like, it's gonna be her first kiss, right? And he went straight panic. It's like, this cannot be her first kiss. This cannot possibly be her first kiss. And in that came this random ass banana, which is like, where did that come from?
Oh my god, no!
And made it into, instead of a peck on the cheek, went on a full on kiss. And like, even Haru, even though it was her actual very first kiss, was just like, huh, okay, I didn't expect that, but it was fine. And I just thought it was so funny. She was just cool about it. It was chill. But Tamaki was having mental breakdown about it. He was like, no. Wait. And I could not stop laughing. So I just thought, what are the chances?
Oh my god, no, totally get you with that one, because I remember watching that, and then when they were like fully like having that conversation that it would be like her first kiss and everything, that was when the twins were having a banana, and that was when the arrow kind of indication where like the banana would play a part and stuff.
But it was like, why were the twins even having a banana at a bowl?
Why were they having a banana? Why would they chuck it onto like the courtyard and stuff? Like, isn't there bins or something? Like, where did you get the banana from? Because it was just all sweets. Can I just say this now? My favorite Haruhi moment is when she found out about the fatty fish or turtle.
Yes.
You cannot again, I feel like there's a connection with all of like the shows that we've so far watched, is that the main girl seems to enjoy food.
Yes.
And one day, Shy, I've got to take you to have the fatty fish. It is the most delicious thing ever, and it is like it melts in your mouth. It is so good. You'll understand why Haruhi wants it.
We base a lot of our friendship around food, and I think that's what I miss most about lockdown, is that we haven't been able to go out to eat. And just seeing anime food, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go out to a restaurant.
They do make it really good.
Even like, I just found it so funny, like in the 3rd episode when she was gonna be found out that she was a girl, she was like, yeah, I'm fine with it. And then they were like, well, because of Tamaki's jealousy, he's like, no, you have to stay. You have to still be a boy. And she was like, no, like, I don't care. I need to get this physical done. But the way, this is the only time Mori has spoken like a way to guy, like 6 episodes. But he's the one who suggested the fish. We'll let you eat it.
Yes.
If you
he had like a light bulb moment.
If you stay being a boy, or like pretending to be a boy. And she's like, I'm not gonna be swayed by this. Are you crazy? It's food. But then she's like, yeah, I am. I love it too much. Okay, I'll go with your crazy ass plans. That's so unnecessary. And then she like even misinterpreted it as like they just want the money back, even though it was like Tamaki wanting to spend time with her. She was like, oh, I get it. You guys just want the money for the vase back. These guys don't care about the money at this point. They're like, we are rich as people. It's fine. I feel
like there are more of like, this is more opportunity for us to tease our boss, if anything. Which is so good. I think that's the whole concept that runs through like episode 1 to episode 6 is that it just goes, Tamaki, Haruhi, and how do we as the other casts make that relationship 10 times better.
Yeah, and so in episode 4, that was when Kyoya's like fiance came.
Are they really fiancés though?
No, I say fiance in quotation, but because we already talked about that, but I was surprised she kept coming back. I forgot about her, like just in general when I was rewatching. I was like, I didn't realize she kept coming back in episode
You know
5 and
what's
6.
you know what's funny though? As soon as you were thinking about that, the characters were also thinking about it. Like, didn't you leave to go back to Paris? And she'll make up an excuse saying, "Oh no, I can't go back to Paris because of XYZ and all that." But the one thing that I always forget is she actually exists in the show, let alone it's that she comes out from the ground. Which I'm like, how do you I don't understand. How is this even possible? Like, I understand it's a music area, which is where the host club is, but I'm like, why are you on the ground? How did you get from the ground to like the top? Like, hello. Even though I know that like a lot of these things, like I shouldn't be thinking too much about it, but it's just like those random moments. I'm like, huh?
I feel like she keeps coming back now that I'm kind of remembering her character a little bit more, but I don't know. It's just like thinking about it. I always just remember the main characters, and I'm kind of a disservice to her a little bit. But another pair of characters that are really fun are the twins, and they had their time to shine in the 5th episode, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that bit because it was such a. We keep talking about Tamaki's crush on her, and I think this was like the moment was like, hold on, there's other people that also like her or end up liking her, and their fight. Okay, so did you believe it when they were fighting? If they actually were fighting at first, or did you think, or did you figure out that it was just a
I
I
feel
mean, I
like,
know it's a really long time since we watched it the first time, so you probably
yeah,
already knew. But I mean, like,
I feel like I feel like it was kind of like they plotted the whole entire thing, but they made it so realistic that you think that that
yeah.
was
Well,
actually
I
a
mean,
fight.
like that was the point, right? Like, because they did plot it.
Yeah,
But I was just
yeah,
curious if you personally thought that they were, because they are like the mischievous dudes.
exactly. I think I didn't believe it. Like I knew that it was too good to be true because of like what their type was as a host. But the one thing I just laughed that whole entire like episode because they ended up chucking everything they could find. Even like honey was inside there. And also Tamaki somehow made it in there. I'm like, why is this happening?
The sweetest thing though, in that kind of like, there's a little bit of heart in this episode. I think when nobody could tell them apart except Haruhi. She could. Like for the first time, somebody had seen them as individual people and not just as the twins. And I think
Mm,
that's like, even though they didn't explicitly show it, I'm pretty sure that meant a lot to them. Because they're always as pairs, they're always as twins together. That's their shtick. Doesn't matter if you can figure them one apart because you'll always get both. But for the first
yeah.
time, somebody had seen them as individual people. And I honestly still cannot tell them apart. I know when we were in high school, we had this thing. One of our other friends, like the twins, were her favorite. She could tell them apart by their hair or their voice or something. I have
I
never been
remember
able to tell them apart.
I remembered I could tell them apart at one stage, but now when I actually when I rewatched like episode 1 to 6, and I'm like, how did I tell them apart? I don't understand. Even when they dyed their hair, I'm like, um, so which one's which? I'm pretty sure there is a way if we were
I know
to
somebody said
rewatch
it's
it.
like their fringe is one way or something, but I can't. Like, I don't know. I'm just not good. I couldn't have never been able to figure it out. Or it's not like
I
I
feel
tried
like
that hard, but
I feel like it is a mission to like really know which one it is. I feel like it's a bit of both. So it's their hair and also their personality. It's because one of them is more sassy than the other.
yeah. What did she say? She said Hikaru is more mischievous than Ka.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. She said through their voice and action, he's more mischievous. I don't know how to tell that.
I think we're gonna have to figure it out. Like
as
it'll
we
probably
watch
show
more.
more. Yeah, as we
Um,
watch more and stuff.
there was one more episode which I think introduced another host that is not like a permanent host. But we can quickly talk about him if you like, because he was in that episode.
He was in that episode, and he also did pick up a bit of Tamaki vibes at the end of the episode, which then backfired on Tamaki himself because it's like he tries so hard to like make it right, but um like that whole entire episode I found it really sweet and like very very like down to earth with relating it back to how like our society would see through like as romance and like knowing that someone that they really like can be either like a couple of distance away or they know that they're going to be leaving them and they know that they won't be able to see that person for a very long time unless they gave that extra hand to like making that extra effort to go and see that person. So like it to me I really emphasize like was very empathetic with this episode because it was just it really just touched a lot of like not just in a romantic perspective but you can also relate it to your friendships as well. I just found it really like wholesome even though the kid himself was a bit rude.
Which he was the what was it, the naughty or something like that?
Yeah, the naughty type.
Yeah. Um, I'm just a sucker for any kind of music scenes and the whole piano playing
Oh
thing.
yeah,
It's just like
that there was
my
a
bread and
piano
butter.
there.
It was, but I'm excited to keep watching, even though we have seen this before. I'm really enjoying the rewatch so far. I just think I am laughing out loud and giggling probably more than I did the first time around because of the fact that we've seen this before and it's attached to a lot of like high school memories for us. And I just think, watching it back, I just remember all those little chats we had waiting for the bus, talking about this show that nobody else was watching at the time. And it was sort of our little guilty pleasure.
Yes,
To
at the time,
watch.
and everyone like I remembered every single one of my friends would be like, "Oh my god, did you see this new episode of Naruto?" and blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, watch Ouran High instead. It's pretty good, solid." Like even rewatching it now, like what you said, Shy. Like I feel like I laughed more and forgot about everything. Like I completely like stripped reality out of my life just every
Yeah,
time I
I
watched
mean,
it.
there are some moments when you're like, but it's just a fun show, It's
It
not.
really is like it.
I'm
It
not gonna
makes
take it too
you
seriously.
yeah, and it makes you want to just relive your high school moments, but of the good ones and forget about the bad ones to kind of say. Because I feel like when I watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I remember all these. I remember talking about it every time after school and everything else, and while we're walking.
Yeah, this one is a very nostalgic one. Unlike a lot of the other ones that we might be talking about, which we're watching for the very first time, or one that we're introducing to each other, this is one of the first ones we actually agreed on that we liked. And I don't know even if it's like something that I just enjoyed the experience of talking with other people about, or I actually enjoyed the show. I don't know anymore because it's not it's not something I usually just end up watching, but I wanted to watch it with you guys. And so there I was watching it, and I don't know, I'm so excited to continue watching it. I'm so excited to watch the rest of the season. I do know that there's only a few more episodes, like there's like 24 episodes. So it's not going to be that long of a rewatch, but I'm excited. I love all the characters. I know I asked you who your type was in the beginning, but I'm excited to see it all again.
I'm excited to rewatch it and just relive the whole entire like TV like the whole entire show again because it is by far one of the best, well, not one of the best, there's like a couple of good ones out there, but like for for when it came out, and even rewatching it now, it's still such a good like show to watch, and just like easy and lighthearted. And we'll love to hear what you guys also like think about the show, if you've already watched it or if you're planning to watch it again, because it is such an old show, but it is still a classic to watch even up until now. So definitely leave it down in the comments, and like we'll just want to hear what your favorite thoughts are and whatnot. But other than that, please do stay safe, turtles, wherever you are in the world, and spread your joy near and far. And we'll see you in the next episode.